right. So today I have on Derek Williams, AKA Mr1nf1n1ty. He's been kind enough to come on and share some of his knowledge with us. Derek has a background as a professional athlete, trainer. He's ran a Pilates studio, done a whole bunch of different things, and now he's an entrepreneur working with the Athletic Truth Group out in Florida. They're expanding their online coaching business. They're one of the fastest growing online coaching businesses in the world. Derek's got a bunch of other entrepreneurial projects going on we may talk about. But in this interview, I wanted to invite Derek on to talk about some of his health philosophies. They're probably off the mainstream, off the beaten path, as Derek says. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. Regardless of what you're doing, we all have to worry about our health. So Derek's going to, teach us a little bit about how to handle that aspect of our life. So Derek, thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all the accolades. And I don't know if I'm going to teach you, but I can definitely give you my beliefs and my philosophies around it. So I appreciate you having me on, Ian.
Absolutely. Yeah, share with us. That's right. So I reached out to Derek for a little bit of coaching just because I really liked some of the things he was sharing online. And I thought personally I could learn a lot from him. I watched some of his interviews and there are a bunch of topics I thought he had a unique perspective on I wanted to explore. So if you're okay with that, Derek, I just have a couple questions here. We can jump right into them unless you got anything else you want to talk about first.
Nah, definitely fire away, man. Looking forward to the share.
Absolutely. So one of the first ones that you mentioned a lot, I really liked because it's even got this sweet, super marketable name is soul food, man. So
right.
You do these posts on soul food. I see them. I think it's about, getting some of the benefits of the sun, but I imagine it might be deeper than that. Can you just talk a little bit about how you came up with that, what it is?
So I wrote an article about it. So, like traditionally people think of soul food, SOULFOOD, and that's kind of like usually associated with like a slave food, like slap on some collard greens, some ham hocks, some chitlins, or some deep fried macaroni and cheese, and like really like that. The term soul food is a term of endearment because it kind of brings people together, it kind of connects people, and it kind of but it's really it's death. You know what I'm saying? And people have, and a lot of times in our society, we have been dumbed down to accept death. You know what I mean? Accept fast food, accept porn, accept things that really are just killing us. You know what I'm saying? And we've been dumbed down to feel like it's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? And so I really just kind of like, I know how many benefits just the sunlight offers, you know what I'm saying? So soul food, I changed it to SOLFOOD. So soul meaning the sun. And that's, and if people took that soul food instead of the traditional soul food, the health would shift. You know what I'm saying? If we really connected to that type of soul food instead of the fried chicken and whatever is considered soul food out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a fun little tagline that I kind of started with because I always walk on the beach and I'm always getting food, and I feel like that is a source of nutrition. You know what I'm saying? I think most people feel like nutrition has to come in the form of a physical item, and I feel like the unseen is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the seen. So I feel like getting that source of nutrition is more important than physical food. So some days I might fast on some soul food, you know what I mean? But it's the real soul food. It's not the fried chicken and the greens and chitlins or whatever people consider soul food. So I just kind of wanted to change that mindset. You know, I think the paradigm is shifting out here in the world, and I think I just want to add to it. And I feel like waking people up to the fact that it's not cool to be killing yourself with these foods. You know what I mean? It's not cool to be having get-togethers and thinking you're having fun, but really the whole time it's designed to make you sick, give you diabetes, give you high blood pressure, give you headaches, swell your body up with all this sodium and salt. You know, and we feel like we're having fun, but really you're just tickling yourself. That's not fun to be killing yourself with these foods. So so yeah, that's kind of like where the soul food. I know I kind of went on a little rant, but that's kind of like where the soul food came in at. And I wrote an article about it on my blog, Infinity Beyond. So it kind of gives a little more in-depth picture of what my mindset was when I coined that term soul food, you know?
Yeah. No, I like the rant because, you know, clearly you have a lot of conviction about it, and it makes sense, man. I remember thinking something similar. I remember this really distinctly. I was like in a diner with my sister. I think it was my sister and my mom, and I saw people like eating all this really bad food, and it probably wouldn't affect people so negatively if so many people didn't struggle and have like potentially life-threatening issues because of the type of food they're eating, man. And I remember thinking the same thing you were kind of thinking, like, oh, this isn't like, it's supposed to be fun. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people don't even realize, like, they're not aware while they're consuming these foods, like how detrimental they can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our society has shifted us into believing that killing ourselves is fun. Like going to a bar, smoking cigarettes, going through fast food, going to numb yourself with the television. Like, they've really convinced us that these are enjoyment activities. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not, man. You really just like, you know what I mean? Really just like killing yourself in small degrees every day.
Yeah. 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 So I was going to go in order, but you're forcing me to skip around with these questions. So you said in your healthy and grown podcast interview, this is your quote, I believe. You said, discipline and self-control are the supplements to take. You said there's no easy way to get to heaven. And this is definitely related to saying like, hey, you're just tickling yourself. Actually, no, you're slowly killing yourself with these foods. Like, what do you mean by that? Why are discipline and self-control the supplements to take? Why is there no easy way to get to heaven? What is heaven to you? Obviously, we're using that metaphorically. It can be whatever you all watching this believe heaven is. That's okay. But we're just saying, like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, and I don't mean heaven metaphorically. I mean literally. Like, because heaven to my mindset is a state of frequency, a state of vibration. And the only way to get there is through discipline and self-control. And like I said, our society, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, as a whole, as a civilization, as we've been dumbed down, you know, to a low frequency. You know what I'm saying? And when we got woe to sleep, like everybody is asleep out here in this low, dense, vibrating state. And so people have no clue what bliss or nirvana or like or that state of heaven feels like, because everybody's sleep and sick. So everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. You know what I'm saying? Heaven is just at a certain frequency. And I think everybody's been there when they've been in the zone, when they've been in love, when they feel their best. You know what I'm saying? So it's a frequency state that we can really be there 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what all the ancients wanted to teach us, you know, that we can be in that state, you know what I'm saying? But it takes discipline, it takes self-control, it takes knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And in those three things, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man, you got to apply the knowledge. You know what I mean? Applied knowledge is equals wisdom. And so a lot of nowadays, the information is out here for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to seek, and ye shall find. So people that are seekers right now are going to find the truth, but it just comes to, are you ready to accept change, and are you disciplined? Do you have enough self-control to master these habits? Because I mean, like they say, it's simple, but it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these things are simple, and the things I tell you are simple, but they're not easy because people around you, your environment, your upbringing, your subconscious belief patterns, they will be in the way. They will be barriers for you to overcome, but you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know I got a long way to go, and I'm just saying this. I'm not saying this to like act like I'm there, because I got a long way to go, but I see the path, you know what I'm saying? And I know, and I see the pitfalls, and as I learn more and more the pitfalls, and I can start to step over them and not keep falling in, having to climb myself up, fall in, climb myself up, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know that, and I know I'm not, I know not to follow nobody, you know what I'm saying? But my internal self, you know what I'm saying? Learn from everybody, follow no one. So, that's kind of my thing. So I pick and choose. I mean, I learn from everything, man. But but back to that question, like a lot of people are looking for the quick fix. You know what I mean? Going to the supplement store, reading the bottles, and reading all these magazines. The how do I get quick abs, or how do I you know what I'm saying? Whatever people are looking for, they're looking for that quick fix. When instead of just going inside, man, and taking some deep breaths and like visualizing what they want and letting attract and having that what they want be attracted to them, and using discipline and self-control, and it's not a quick game, man. It's gonna be a long game, but I think that's the best game to play. You know what I'm saying? That long game, man. That you mean discipline and self-control can take you anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of what I meant by it, because there's so many people that want to manipulate you and take your money by selling you these supplements or these quick fixes. But it's not. But it's weakening you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of like welfare, the welfare system. How they get these people free money, and they ain't like, oh man, I got this EBD card, man, for $300. I got this money in the mail for $800. Yeah. But they don't understand that they're being weakened if somebody handing you money.
Yeah.
Because those unseen muscles that you got to work and like grind and like get that money for, like those are muscles that you gonna need on this journey. And so and so like a lot of inner city people, they get weakened and don't even know it. They think they winning, but they getting weakened.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Man, I totally agree with that. Oh man, there's so many directions I could go with that one. Let me go in this direction. So for some people, I know, especially when you say things like,
and you gotta tell me too, man. I ain't trying to get too heavy with your audience. I don't know where you're at. Like,
no, you're good.
I don't go too hard, man.
This is good.
I can go hard.
This is good content. I'm thinking about the person that's watching this and maybe has no idea what you say if they're saying you go inside. So can you like think about before you were into this, before you had that ability to go inside, like what kind of, behaviors and routines did you have before you were into all this, before you had that ability to go inside, and like what changed, what sort of behaviors and disciplines did you start that sort of woke that part of you up and allowed you to start going inside? Was it just being disciplined with working out? Was there other stuff, the way you thought about how you're interacting with other people? Like, what was it like going from old Derek to, Derek now that you're into this?
Yeah. I think everybody that's even probably going to listen to this, I have like some type of state of awareness, even when they came to this planet, you know what I'm saying? So, so I feel like I've always had a semi, I don't know, like I think I was always kind of awoke, but my environment around me is what was trying to crush my my spirit from really waking up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people around you are not ready to wake up, or like they just so comfortable in being asleep, or kind of comfortable in that matrix, so to speak. So I had a lot of things that I mean, I got a long story, but really I just had to get away from my environment. You don't
have to tell us the whole life story, but like, you mentioned soul food now, you mentioned welfare. Like, I don't know personally, like what is your background from like when you were a kid, I guess, like kid through teenage years, like where were you at?
I got you. So I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I mean, just a city kid, man, play ball, like the average kid in the city, man. I was a pretty good player. I was like an all-state performer, Indiana All-Star, went to, played Division I basketball in my city, traveled around, man, a little bit, ended up playing basketball in Norway, and then like professionally in Norway. So I was there for a couple of years, ended up like winning the championship, got MVP of the league. So nice. When I was in Norway, it's probably the first time I really recognized like how much like I was creating my reality though. Because I kind of got away from all the distractions of America, so to speak, with the ESPN Sports Center, like everything just like news and like everything just bombarding you. I had to we didn't have those channels, and we didn't have so many distractions. So every night I was able to read and journal. Like I had that pattern. And then, and I wrote, and I was reading my goals every night, and it was just kind of funny. Everything I wrote down like happened. And I was like, damn, this is kind of cool. Like everything I write down is really happening. And and then I remember one game before, it was a playoff game, and I played it in my mind the night before we played. And then I went out there and literally I was like, I was really in the zone because I was already ahead of everybody because I had already played the game. And so I think that was one of my aha moments where I was like, man, this is really my creation. You know what I'm saying? So and you go in and out of that awareness. Like I still do. I still fall asleep like anybody else. You know, I still got bad habits that I need to work on. But that was kind of like the first time I came to the awareness, like, man, like row your boat, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is like really my creation.
Yeah. No, that's a crazy story. I don't know how much you want me to go into it as far as like, and then after I played ball overseas, I came home, had some kids, man, ran into some crazy. And it was like when I was overseas, I was like, all right, I was like in a higher frequency. When I came back to America, I just crashed and burned. Like, it was like, man, right back to the hood, right back to the party and the clubbing, right back to the girls, right back to, man, I was like, my state of consciousness just like dropped like a rock. Was there a point though? Was there like a point where you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like what just happened?
What you mean when I went back?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just don't, I was a kid. I mean, I was like in my young 20s. So I was like, when I was in Norway, I didn't really know what that was. I was like, I just thought it was cool. I just thought it was cool. But I thought I did it. I didn't realize that I had to really tend to my mind and my garden every day for those miracles to continue to happen. Like, I didn't realize that I didn't realize I had, when I went back home, that those things weren't going to just continue, but your consciousness it was what creates. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies is just a manifestation of our consciousness and our awareness. And so I didn't realize, like, because I just didn't know. And so when I got home and as I read and I studied and I learned and I applied, I read and I studied, I learned and I applied. Then I got to awareness, like, oh, okay, I got to really, if I really want to like create my reality, man, you got to have discipline. You got to have self-control. You got to eat right. You got to think right. You got to put yourself in the right environments. You really got to tend to your garden every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know. So I fell back down, had kids and like had relationship problems and just like went through a lot, man. And I got back out of the city, like drove from Indianapolis to San Diego, was like on the streets for about a year, man. Like I just went through a whole lot of hell. But yeah.
Wow, there's so many things to dig into there, man. That's intense. Thank you for sharing that. That is an interesting, man.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. And one thing about me is gonna set me apart, man, is that like it's real. Like I'm just like real. Like I don't really have like a lot of fear, and I don't have a lot of care. Not in a negative way. It's just like I just don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't seen it. I didn't done it. Like, I really can't be affected by life no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that too, man. You mentioned that. You said something about in the interview, like, yeah, I have a baseline of knowledge that I can take care of myself. I know that a lot of people want to get there. And you mentioned, so you said this in one of your interviews. Yeah, I have a baseline of knowledge that I can take care of myself. I know a lot of people want to get there, but you talk about how one of the biggest barriers people have to getting there is like distraction. So this kind of plays into like when you came back to the States, right? You're like swamped with this distraction. You got kids.
Exactly.
Like, how can you go from tending to your garden if you're jumping into this like distractible lifestyle with kids, everything going on? How do you continue to tend to that garden? And what does that mean for you? What does it look like now? Maybe might help people to figure out how they can do that for their life.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, I even got chills, man. That's a really good question. It's going to be challenging for a lot of people, man, because a lot of people do care. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have family members and friends and like associates and like that are unaware that they unaware. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be tough, man, and to really tend to your garden, you got to be savage. You got to be like any negativity, anybody in your world that you feel like is not bringing life and love and blessings to your garden, man, you have to pluck them out. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to pluck them out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I don't mind doing. Like, if somebody is not benefiting my universe and my garden, my world, whatever you want to call it, man, like, I'm unattached. Like, your ass got to go. You know what I'm saying? And then and that is with anything. Like, yeah. Like if another let me say this. Like, the best way to do it, honestly, is to write down your goals every day. Visualize your goals every day, and look at them, and throughout that day, anything that's not lined up with those goals gotta go. Like, anything that's not, like, if you want to be healthy, if you want a 6-pack, and if you want, like, to be the best shape possible, if you want the whatever you want, because it's just a dream, whatever you want to create, it's your creation. So if you write down your goals and plan out your day, anything that's not aligned with that just has to go. You know what I'm saying? And distractions are going to be there, like the media and the CNN and the ESPN and, like, all these things. They attention is your power. Attention is your money. Attention is your currency. And so everybody wants that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants that from you. Like, that's like an energy source right now. And everybody's like, wants that power. But you got to be able to use that power for you and your goals. And that's it. Like, use your power for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that energy, your concentrated power is the most powerful force in the universe. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like concentrated power, and, like, you can do magic with that. But everybody wanted to disperse your energy, all these cell phones and all these social media apps and all these people and all these, like, notifications and all these, like, everybody wants your energy all the time. You know what I'm saying? So just lock in, man. And I know I'm kind of rambling because I don't really have a direct answer, but hopefully you can decipher something out of that.
No, that's a great one. I'm gonna just turn this light on real quick so people don't complain too much about quality of this video here. No, that's barely gonna see that. Well, my video is gonna suck, guys. Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. Like, when you say attention is like your greatest power, I agree, man. I agree, because this kind of relates. You talk another thing you talk about, but, like, I think there's two things. Tell me what you think. I'm interested to hear it. Like, I feel like people don't take their own life serious enough. Like, they think maybe there'll be a redo. And I think because of that, people don't think that, you know, putting some attention on themselves is, like, a good way to spend their time. They're like, probably not worth it. Even if it's, like, subconscious, man. I think, like, sometimes people feel like, you know, they have to give their associates attention, got to give their kids attention. And, like, meanwhile, they're not managing, like, how they're showing up in the world, like, their state of being. They're not putting attention on themselves. And this reminds me of this thing you had when you were talking about the other podcast, man. You said, so it was the Healthy and Grown podcast. He said people are not going to get the results that they want without finding themselves through the journey. And you said, yeah, that's it. You got to find yourself. Everybody out here is running from themselves. And I feel like this is so related to this idea of attention, because people will not just sit with themselves and, like, I'm going to hang out with myself today and see, like, what's up with me, what's actually going on. Like, what do you think about that? What did you mean when you said, you know, that's it? People got to have to stop running away from themselves.
Yeah, I mean, now you touching on some heavy stuff today, Ian, but
yeah,
like, I mean, really, it's a challenge, man, because we run it from ourselves because we are taught, I mean, from an early age not to love ourselves. You know what I mean? And self-love is everything. So everybody wants your attention. Everybody wants you to feel less than adequate. You know what I'm saying? It's social media and everything wants to keep you, like, doubting yourself and, like, comparing yourself. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? We are trained not to love ourselves. So being able to spend time with yourself is like, man, it's showing yourself love, man, and tapping in and really, like, and getting to know you. You know what I'm saying? The real you, not the ego self, and not the self that everybody tells you are, or the self that you're led to believe you are. You know what I'm saying? You're way bigger than that. And I think everybody subconsciously really knows that inner power, because that inner power is always trying to talk to it. That inner power is always trying to get our attention in subtle ways. It's not going to yell at you like the television. It's not going to yell at you, but subtly, subconsciously, that inner self is really trying to get your attention. You know what I'm saying? We keep running from it because we know we got to change. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people run from it because they know tapping into that is going to require change, and it's going to require discipline, and it's going to require self-control. It's going to require like maybe exercise and maybe reading, maybe tightening up on your diet. It's going to require some fucking work, and people do not want to fucking work. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by, man, people. It's easier to turn the television on. It's easy to run to the movie. It's easy to have sex with somebody. It's easy to like bullshit around. And it's hard to sit with yourself for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard. But what was the second thing to that question, man? It was something else you said.
Let's see, man. It was that quote. It's so you said people are not going to get the result they want without finding themselves through the journey. Everybody's running away from themselves. I was just asking how that relates to people not managing their attention. I mean, I think it does, because I think you have to value putting your attention on yourself. And that's the place where people are like, no, I'm going to do everything else. Like, no.
Yeah. So what I meant, why I went to go with that was, and hopefully I'm not sounding like I'm holier than thou, man, because I know I got a lot of fucking work to do, man. Like, it's just like, I really do, man. Like, shit, sometimes I don't want to sit with myself. I'll be like, damn, man. But once you understand, like me, the one thing about me that I do understand, I do get, like, and I'm unattached to things, because I understand, like, I don't know if you ever read the Kabbalion, the book of Kabbalion, like all is mind, and everything in the universe is mental. And so, a lot of people are like, see, what the point you made was like, everybody's like getting the energy to the kids or to their job or to this or to that, and they take care of themselves last. And if you really want to like have a good world, and you want everybody else around you to experience a good world, you have to take care of yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to give from your overflow. You got to be filled up before you really can give anything to anybody. Because at the end of the day, it's just your creation. It's just your imagination. You know what I'm saying? And so the better you feel, man, the better your creation is going to be. And it's an energy world. It's like everything is a frequency. Everything is vibrating at a particular frequency. And the better you feel, man, the better the people around you are going to feel. And the better you'll be at creating what you want to create. So taking care of yourself is paramount, because how you feel is what your next creation is going to be. If you feel like shit, you're going to create shit. If you feel great, you're going to create greatness. And so it's really like that simple, man. You got to take care of yourself, man, because this is really your creation.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And man, I can't believe that started off with the question about soul food. I love it, man. I don't want to get too deep today, because like I don't want you to feel like, you know, hey, I talked to Ian and now I feel like I need a nap. But let me give you one simpler one.
Yeah. I hope, like I said, I hope like this stuff nearly not that deep to me, because this is just this is just natural laws and stuff like that. But I don't want to like scare people away from the channel neither.
No, that's okay. That's okay. There's not that many people scared. So.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to freak people out.
For sure. Okay, with soul food though, I'll make this easier. Someone can maybe just like
cool.
Something they can use. So with soul food, like easy to implement. With soul food, that's a way we can get energy. You're talking about feeling good. So obviously getting out in the sun and just maybe experiencing nature a little bit is going to make people feel good. But you said that, you know, soul food feeds all of your bodies. What are some of the other things people can do besides go out in the sun? That's another form of food that we don't think about, whether that's spending time with people you like or just putting yourself in a good physical environment. Like what other things give us energy besides the sun, besides food?
Yeah, that's a good question. So another thing that really like, because everything is like electricity and energy and frequency. And so another thing you can do is like while you're getting your soul food, while you're at the park, you can do like deep breathing. And you take in, you can really increase your prana and your energy just by doing deep breathing. And I'm not saying you got to really be so structured and rigid about it, but just going outside, man, and just being conscious of your breath will really fill you up, man. Oxygen is actually the #1 energy source. You know what I'm saying? So if you fill your cells up with oxygen and more light, that's a form of nutrition. That's a form of food. You know what I'm saying? Vitamin O, you know? So deep breathing is one. Meditating, getting connected to yourself is a form of nutrition. Like reading is a form of energy and information. Because all food is information. You know what I mean? We've been dumbed down to think food is just like this act that we just like stuff ourselves, man. It's really supposed to be a communication with the food, with ourselves, to communicate and for that food to give us information back. And then, you know what I'm saying? So it's really supposed to be a communion. It's supposed to be a ecosystem. And when we stop looking at food like that, we just feeding ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Instead of using it as for communication. So oxygen, obviously sunlight, obviously just being around people you love, like really having that connection and that communion with your family or your wife or your whatever, your girlfriend. That's a form of energy exchange. Hopefully that's a positive exchange. So man, different things like that. I could go on, but I don't want to get too like metaphysical on you. You know what I'm saying?
No, I like that stuff, man.
Yeah, so like, man, like just getting in nature, getting your foot on the grass, on the soil. You take a lot, your feet taking a lot of like nutrients from the ground. So if you're walking on the sand, if you're walking on dirt, just take your shoes off, man. You'll absorb a lot of energy and frequency that way. Sun gazing, looking at the sun, like through your eyes, man. You're taking a lot of energy like that. So man, music, man, can give you different energies. Like So yeah, man, like it's different ways to get energy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like people like, and I think the bodybuilding world or whatever, where I mean, I know it all comes down to money. I know it all comes down to money, but that's easy. They can't. It's hard to put what I want to call it. It's hard to put it's hard to charge for air. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to charge.
Oh yeah. Can't put a patent on air. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's
for
hard,
sure, man. You can't patent
air. It's hard to sell that shit. It's hard to sell it. So they I mean, they're not gonna study it. You know what I mean? If they can't sell it, they're not gonna study it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've heard that with a lot of supplements and drugs, man. Like people talking about that are really into researching this stuff. How a lot of the best stuff is like over the counter, non-patented, free stuff that, you know, are low cost, single ingredient stuff that like, you know, nobody markets because it's just not, you know, you can't have a patent
it's
on
not
it.
profitable. Yeah. That's true, man. That's true. Another thing you can do, man, is fast, man. I don't know if we talked about fasting, but fasting is another way, man. I mean, I would recommend starting slow with fasting, but once somebody gets on a pattern of fasting, man, that'll allow you to absorb nutrients better too. Because if your system is clogged up and your organs are clogged up, it really don't matter what you do. It's hard for those finer and subtle energies to be absorbed. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you get a lot of questions about that, and it seems like you're hesitant. I know a lot of people are looking for like a prescription, and you're not going to give them one. So I'm going to ask you a general question. What, like, if people are thinking about doing it and you're not giving their prescription, but they're like, I'm still going to try it. What are the benefits you get? Like, why do you continue to incorporate some type of fasting? What do you like about it?
I just feel like, man, less is more, honestly. Yeah. Like, and like I said before, like people call it fasting, but I feel like it's just a way of life. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, I don't feel like, we need as much as we've been told we need on the physical. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I said, I think there's more subtle forms of energy that gives me that makes me feel better, honestly. And like I said, I've been like, man, I'm in my 40s, man. I'm mid 40s, so it's been a journey for me. Like if I was 23 listening to this, I'd be like, man, this dude crazy as hell. But but now that I experienced it, like I went through the fast and I went through where I lost a lot of weight, where I got weak, and when I wasn't feeling good. You know what I'm saying? So because those are like detox symptoms. Like when you detox and your body is like, it's so used to getting those protein shakes, or it's so used to getting those burgers. It's so used to getting. So when you stop giving it to your body, it's gonna be like, man, what the hell are you doing, man? Where my burger at? Where my fries at? Where my shake at? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? So your body's gonna push back at you. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go through a lot with that. So yeah, man, I went through it. Right, man, I lost a lot of weight. I looked sick, but I pushed through it, and then I realized, man, like being fed on those higher energies are like, it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get a higher, you just got a higher level of awareness and consciousness, man. And you able to tune into thoughts and in the ether that people will never, ever be able to like tune into. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's a whole nother ball game out there.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a reason it's part of so many different spiritual traditions, man. It's not an accident there.
Yeah. And I got a long way to go, Ian. Like I said, I got to tighten up a lot on my discipline and self-control. But I mean, but I'm aware and I work though. So like I said, I don't really want to sound like I'm like this guru guy, teacher, or anything like that, man. Because I'm just regular old joker from the city, man. Is trying to do better every day, for real.
No, I think most people listening are. I just got a couple more questions. I'm actually surprised though. You said when you started it, you lost a bunch of weight. You didn't look good. Like that's surprising because like I follow you online. Everyone that does, you're like in insane shape. Was there ever a time where you're like transitioning with these diets though?
Yeah, man. Like I went through like I said, I'm in my mid 40s, man. So I went through a lot of like different I went through the same school of thought that most people do, man, reading these men's health magazines, muscle and fitness, looking at these YouTube channels with these workout guys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or you listen to like this vegan, or you listen to this paleo person, or you listen to this keto person, or you listen to whatever. There's so many dogmas, so many philosophies, so many like religious type diets and nutrition and philosophies out there, you know what I'm saying? Which I just don't subscribe to. But I tried them, you know what I'm saying? I went through a lot. I tried them and I went through the raw vegan thing for a while, you know what I'm saying? So one thing, anybody got questions about any of those diets, man, I got it for you. But yeah, man, when I went through the vegan thing for a while, like I lost a lot of weight. I got really skinny, really like sickly looking. And then I went through, when I started fasting, like I said, your body has to cleanse, man. Like you can't go from A to Z overnight. So it's a process. So anything you do, there's a process. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you start reading one day don't mean you're gonna be a scholar or a doctor tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's a process, man. That's why I say discipline and self-control are the key. Because if you don't got that, man, you're not gonna be able to go from reading one day to be a scholar, because you're gonna have to read every day. You're gonna have to read for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept plugging along, kept learning, throwing stuff out. Okay, this works, this don't work, this works, this don't work. So I just kind of patched things together, man, to what you see today. And like I said, I learned a lot along the journey. You know, like I said, it's hard for me to say X or Y, you know what I mean, or Z, because it's so many, it's so much that goes into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like someone asking you, like, how do I have a successful life in one sentence?
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's like, man, you gotta. All I can say is discipline and self-control.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I got like two more like these esoteric health questions, and then I'll wrap it up. You still got time for that? 2 more?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is gold, man. If people are watching this and you guys are confused, this is gold. That, you know, like his information, not my interview, his information. Okay. So
I appreciate it, man.
Man, there's two that I was like really interested in. You were talking about these again on the recent interview you did on Healthy and Grown. So you said the body is a subconscious carrier of past and or subconscious beliefs. And once we start to mobilize it, we start to shed those beliefs and parts of our past. As above, so below. So what do you mean by that? How does mobility or like flexibility specifically allow you to become a more flexible person in general? What do you mean by that? Could you expound on that a little bit?
Are you meaning on the physical realm or spiritual realm? Where you
Yeah, so when you talked about this, it sounded like you said they might be connected, especially with when people start getting into flexibility training. And I'm looking like for personal motivation here. I'm getting really into flexibility myself. I'm wondering what other benefits you found. What
I got you. So as above, so below, man. Like, and that's really, if anybody just took that one principle, they can really create their world however they want, man, because it goes down to the smallest particle of matter to the highest form of spirituality. Like, they all connect. They're all on a pole. And so you really can just tap into like if you create discipline, self-control, and like create mobility and flexibility and health and like in your body, man, you'll able to tap into higher forms of energy on a higher realm too. And so just being flexible in your body allows you to see more factors in the physical world as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know exactly what I was saying in context with that statement, but just as above, so below. But just feeling good and more flexible in your body, man, you'll just be a happier person. And for one, in being a happier person, you'll create a happier experience in your life. You know what I'm saying? So everything's connected, man. It's like this life is so subtle, man. It's so many subtleties that's creating your reality right now that when you are in a higher state of awareness, you start to become aware of the subtle things in life. You'll be aware of how just having one drawer in your house cluttered will affect a meeting you had, or affect your relationship with your mother or your girlfriend, or just not making your bed in the morning and may have an impact on how you breathing, or what everything is so interconnected and so subtle that when you become aware of how you are the creator of your universe, and once you take 100% responsibility for your reality, then you start to like become aware of all the subtleties in your world. You know what I mean? And you start to take ownership, and you start to see the cause and effect relationship to everything you're doing. Like, there's a cause and effect relationship to everything. And that's another one of the 7 Hermetic principles is cause and effect. And so if you're flexible in your body, man, it's gonna out picture in your reality too. You know what I mean? You'll be more flexible. I mean, just in life and your thoughts, and you won't be so rigid in your belief systems. You know what I mean? You won't be locked in. People might not be able to lock you into a pattern of beliefs, into these dogmas, to the religions, and you won't be a slave to somebody else's belief system. You know what I mean? Because you'll be able to see what they're trying to do to you. You'll be able to see the manipulation patterns too. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see what the TV and like all these media outlets are trying to like convince you to believe. You know, so I don't know if I'm answering your question. Those are just like
because when you understand yourself on a deep level, you understand other people, right? So no, you definitely are, because I was going to ask you another question that this basically answered. Like, it sounds like the more you can tap into these small, subtle details in your body, in your physical training, your flexibility, and the way you're eating, it allows you to start to become aware of these on the outside as well, outside your body, maybe in the greater world, all these little details floating by.
You saying something, like, you get it, Ian, like you really do, man. Like that's it, man. And like everything exists right here, man. Like there's no past, there's no future, man. Everything is existing and now. Like every thought that's been thought in the from the beginning of time to the end of time is right here, right now. We have access to them. You know what I'm saying? We just have to reach that level of frequency where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? So That's why when people alcohol are called spirits, because when you drinking off alcohol, man, you tap into different spirits and you have different thoughts, and those low frequency thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, it's tricky, man, but like it's a fun game. Once you understand you 100% control of your world, man, and it's your dream, and it's like you got to take control of the wheel. You know what I'm saying? And it's just we so used to having like this mystical God figure, like think that somebody else outside of us is in control of our wheel. You know what I'm saying? But not me. Shit. I got this, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I do believe in a higher power. I do believe that I'm guided. Don't get me wrong, but I understand that I'm 100% responsibility for my own creation. Yeah, and so and that forces you to look at cause and effect relationships. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, you definitely sound like you are, especially after all that work you said you're doing when you came back from out of the country. Well, all tending to your own garden, how you had to become aware of that when you came back here.
Man.
The last question I had was related to that. I swear this is the last one. Is
it's all good.
Is when you came back, man, you said something really interesting. I wanted to kind of get to the meat of this before we brought it up if we had time, but you said that you came back, you went from Indiana to San Diego, and you were on the street for a little. And for a lot of people living on the street, that can mean a lot of different things. From like selling drugs to living in a tent, by some intersection. Like that could mean a million things. What did that look like for you? Like, what was that part of your life about? What was going on? How did that kind of, how'd you get from there to here, basically? What people see on Instagram?
I mean, I was.
We don't have to talk about that too if you don't want to.
I mean, I don't. Like I said, I don't really care, man. I don't really care. Like,
obviously,
I was in. Like, I literally drove from Indianapolis to. I didn't have no money, no nothing. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I just knew I had to get away from my environment, because my environment was a toxic cesspool, man. People just like it was just like drugs and in the streets, and like and like it was just like craziness, and I had it was just like. My sister was like going crazy. Like it was just like a lot going on. So I was like, man, fuck it. I just got in my car and just left. And I just drove, man. And I just remember me reading this book, and somebody was like something about San Diego. And I had like a friend that lived out in LA. And so I just drove out there, man. And I'm prideful, man. So I'm prideful, so I didn't tell nobody I was out here in the streets, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, I'm doing great. Yeah.
So man, I luckily I went out there, man. It was like went by a different name and every damn thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I looked up on the job, but I was literally, man, like I was literally in the streets, like sleeping out of my car for like a year straight.
Damn.
Like a year straight.
Oh man, you're determined.
Like I wasn't going back, man. I was like,
holy shit.
Like
that's dedication, man.
But the thing about it is, I wasn't even tripping, man. I was enjoying my life, man. I used to go to the beach every day. I was like, I just take a shower, LA Fitness, man. Like
that's amazing.
Man, it was hot as fuck every day, man. I met people, but I was still prideful. I never told like really nobody. Like I was literally like in the streets, like, man, fucking.
You're like, no, that's not my car. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, what you mean? I was just taking a nap.
That's normal.
Yeah, I was sweating my ass off taking a nap. But
oh man.
Yeah, okay. But it was, man, like I said, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I was going out like I was just a regular person, like hanging out, like this, like going to Whole Foods, spending all my damn check on Whole Foods, and like. But yeah, it was a good experience. But what it did teach me though was like, but what that did teach me is like I can do anything. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that gives me like. Nobody can control me, man, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like you can can't nobody manipulate me with no money. They can't tell me,
holy shit.
Like they can't dangle a fucking diamond in front of me because I don't give a fuck. Like I know I can create my reality with this mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is my power. Like Like I don't like no car, no nothing, no house. Like I'm good. Like if I get it, I get it. But if I don't, I'm gonna still be good. Like Derek's gonna be good regardless. Like you know what I'm saying? And like sometimes that intimidates people or that kind of push people back because they don't understand. Like, cause they used to manipulating with money and with these cars and with these goals or with their title. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't give a fuck what somebody's title is. Like, you know what I'm saying? How is your health? How is your health? How is your consciousness? What's your state of awareness? Like, that's all I care about. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to be too tough or act like I'm a tough guy or anything, but it's just like, but like, I see people get manipulated by this bullshit. And it's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just smoke and mirrors, man. Like it's just smoke and mirrors. Like this stuff don't mean nothing, man. Just have fun wherever you at in life, man. Just be grateful. You know what I mean? You can shine your gold and just by being grateful. You know what I'm saying? Just write 10 things you're grateful for, man. You'll raise your frequency right now.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. I wish I'd asked that first. I could do a whole podcast on this. This is like, no, because that ability to walk away from stuff and not be controlled by like your own, you know, like perceived sense of status, be like, oh, I'm not good anymore. Like I'm living in my car. Well, it's like, you're actually hanging out at the beach. Like there's no problem.
Exactly. Like, it's perspective, man.
To be able to like control your perspective like that and not have people like put their perspective on you, be manipulated. And that's so many people, they don't even know they don't have that. They would kill for that power, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That is power, man. Like, and people around you want to push their beliefs or they boxed in way of thinking on you. Like you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, or why don't you have this at this age or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only now exists, man. As long as you feel good now, that's all that matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people out here chasing the wind, man, out here chasing the waterfall, you know what I mean? Going nowhere fast. So like, I know like a lot of this physical shit don't even mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's fun to have, fun to play with. But at the end of the day, man, your state of awareness and your consciousness, that's all you should be worried about.
Yeah. That's your true wealth. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's really the goal. That's where the true diamonds are too. Like if people ain't really knew, like that's the jewels.
Yeah. Oh man, I just love it, man. Cause I didn't know that about you. You don't talk about that story much, but that is like explains so much about you know, I feel like explains so much about your message now and like who you are and what you're putting out to the world, because that's just so powerful, man, to have that's just so powerful.
Yeah,
I've heard yeah, go ahead.
What's that? No, I was saying like, so what, like I just do me, man. What do you, when you say my message, what I put out to the world, what do you see like from myself or from ATG? Like when you say that, what do you mean?
Yeah, man. So ATG I found because you know, I love their stuff for like lower body training. It's real specific for that. I think it's like the best in the world, right? But your stuff, I think through the way your content comes out, it's I think if you read between the lines a little, it's apparent that you place this huge value on like your state, especially maintaining like a centeredness about the way you are when you're just interacting with the world. And to me, it's pretty clear that you place that at a high value. It's a high priority to you to maintain that centered state where you can kind of operate from and make your own decisions, right? And like that story about being in the car, like points to why you might be like that, because to reach a point where you're so like at peace with yourself or okay with yourself or whatever, to go and live this life that a lot of people would be like, oh, that's not okay. Like you gotta, you know, do all these things, and to be okay with that. And to not have to scramble into some like the next thing just to get away from that, but to like find your next move and be calculated about it. That takes someone that's like, I feel places a high premium on that state of awareness and calmness that allows them to make those real conscious choices, you know? So to me, it like explains a lot about how you come out in your message and stuff, you know, like even when you're answering questions, you can tell that it's really thoughtful and you're not letting your initial reaction sort of overwhelm you into some like made up answer. You're really thinking about, you know, what your actual thoughts are on the topics and things like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. And like, but yeah, that's only one of the the valleys I had to go through. So we'll talk about another one next time. But yeah, absolutely.
We'll cut it, man. That was super long. I'm gonna cut the recording and then we can chat a little bit after. But Derek, I really appreciate you coming on. For everyone that doesn't know, can you just tell them like where they can follow you or find out more about you and all your work with ATG online?
Yeah, man, I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's a pleasure to be on your show. But yeah, we have a online training platform at atgonlinecoaching.com. We really feel like it's on the cutting edge of sports performance, man. We feel like we broke the code. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my mid 40s and like still can run and jump and play at a high level with professional athletes. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say that. So atgonlinecoaching.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Mr1nf1n1ty. Use the ones instead of the I's. And I have a website, Mr1nf1n1ty.com, where I sell like products, I mean, like slant boards and a Nordic strap and floss bands that kind of like coincide to our training at ATG. So yeah, man. My guys, my partners, knees over toes guy, the Flexi Bull and Basket Bark, man. It's all of us together that incorporate ATG, man. We trying to push it, man, and spread the message. So appreciate you, Ian.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, go check them out. All right, Derek, I'm going to cut it. We can chat a little bit after, but thank you again, man.
All right.